Hi and welcome to all the viewers joining us for this pre-recorded show, which is for Tuesday, the 12th of March. We are recording early doors on Monday morning. Racing takes place at Fairview on the Poly Track, an 8-race program. Joining me on the line is the resident expert, Grant Paddock. Firstly, Grant, how are you doing? And then secondly, what do you think of the card?
Morning, Sheldon. Morning, punters. All good this side. Weather's pretty good. I believe we're going to have a bit of a headwind tomorrow, but otherwise not too bad. Card is interesting. It looks okay early on, and it gets a little bit more difficult as we get through the day, but that's typical of the PE cards lately.
Right, let's get straight into race number one, and race number one is due off at 12:30. It will be the commencement of the bar pot, which is your chosen bet for the day. And looking at the betting for race number one Just Can't Get Enough is currently at 22-10. Number 3, Williams Legacy at 3-1, and then number 2, King of Queen, and number 9, Outer Dimension, priced up at 7-2. So that's a look at the betting for race number one. And when we get down to the crunch, you bankering number 3, Williams Legacy, Samanga Kamalo for the Kelly Mitchley stable. And must have been very, very pleased with the 3 local efforts, 2 runner-up berths and a 3rd last time out, Grant.
Yeah, Sheldon, 100%. He's definitely a better horse on the poly. His track work is exceptionally good on the sand. He worked very, very well. Final workout, it was a very, very good workout. I think he'll be very hard to beat. Good draw, strong jockey. A lot of talk for the one horse, Just Can't Get Enough. A very good first run here, beaten 2 short heads. Form line not very strong though, I must be honest with you. And King of Queen's another one that's got to be a massive runner with Yeri from a one draw. Also first run on the poly. Problem, that one doesn't seem to jump very, very well. The first time out, you got fly jumped and left, and you can't do that from a one draw. I'm solid in the camp of William Legacy. I think he'll take a power of beating. There's another horse in the race lower down, Outer Dimension from the Graveyard. I believe it's also working quite well. I have followed this horse when it was with Mike. Seemed to be a very one-pace horse. I don't know if the poly is going to suit it, but let's see how it goes. Alan does tend to turn these maidens around, but solid in the camp of William Legacy from King of Queen. Just Can't Get Enough and Outer Dimension.
Now moving on to race number 2, which will be the second leg of the bar pot and the opening leg of the place accumulator over 1,400 meters. They are bidding 2-1 about the favourite, number 8, Richard Ferree. He's a man on a mission. He's hungry for each and every victory. And from that number 3 draw, based on that local introduction, you bank at number 8 in your bar pot, Grant?
Yeah, 100% Sheldon. Very, very shallow field, this of maiden fillies. She had a very good first run over here, running on very nicely. Big action filly. I think she'll suit the poly as well. Massive runner with Fury up. There's no doubt from a good draw. I think she'll start a lot shorter than the 2-1, purely on the quality of the field she's facing. The 2 Smith runners, Venetian Moonlight and Keen on Kelly, are her biggest dangers, and then the Leon Lotz runner, the 11, Tune Again's a nice horse to run a drum. But all in number 8, Kioka.
There we go, Kioka, Grant Paddock all in, opened up 22-10, is now 2-1, and probably race time around about 14-10, and maybe even a little bit sharper with the lack of quality in the field. That'll shoot us into race number 3, the opening leg of the Pick 6, where they'll do battle over 1,600 meters. Having a look at the betting, number 3, Pedro from 2-1 has shortened down 15-10. Number 2, Meet at the Windsor has gone 5-1, and then you can get 6-1 and better the rest. Grant, let's start off with the money horse, which is number 3, Pedro, runner-up in the last 2 efforts, a half-decent draw. And this is the type of race where this individual could get that confidence back.
Yeah, 100%. It looks like he's found the right race. Very, very shallow races as well. With a lot of horses that are battling to find their form again. I think they've had a bet already, and looks like they've found the right kind of a race for Pedro. I do make him the biggest runner here. Meet at the Windsor, his last run was all wrong, tooled like a dentist, and collapsed down the straight. They've taken the blinkers off. Hopefully Richard can settle him in, and he's also got to be a bit of a runner. Wide draw, they're probably going to take their medicine and drop out. And then Fuji-san can also run a place. He's been there and thereabouts since winning his maiden. And after that, the Charioteer will probably be much happier being back on the poly. But I think Pedro's the right horse here. Not an easy race, though. I've gone 3, 2, 4, and 5.
That'll take us into the next race, which will be race number 4. Race number 4 will be over 1,600 meters. And the betting will tell us a bit more, with number 9, Legal Thriller, currently trading at 5-2. Number 12, Gunsmoke at 5-1. And then you have 1 and 3, Jaspero and Indiview at 7-1. And include number 10, Gold for Africa, all priced up at around 7-1. Just give us a little bit of feedback on number 10, Gold for Africa, before we get on to your selections.
Sheldon didn't stay the trip last time out, and I think they took her too handy as well. Didn't really give her a chance to stay the trip. She'll be happier back in a mile. I still think 1,900, 1,800, 1,900 is her best trip. She's a very one-dimensional filly who likes to go up there and make all the running. And once they catch on to you, it's very difficult to win races. But she'll be there and thereabouts. There's no doubt. She's against the boys, which is never the clever thing for these bottom division fillies. But she'll hold her own, probably running back end of quartets. I do like Gunsmoke here. I think they found the right race as well, holding solid form. Good jock. Intara's got a good hand in the previous race and this race. Gunsmoke is definitely my first choice. Open races, Sheldon. You need a couple of horses here. Legal Thriller's got to go in. Raising Quinn always got to go in. She's a very, very decent filly and holding solid form. Loves the poly. Indiview trotted up last time out. And then there's Jaspero. So it's a wide race, unfortunately, for punters. I've gone 12, 9, 1 and 5. But horses like Indiview have to go in.
Now, just touching on 2 other runners, a horse like number 4, Silver Tycoon. Here's a runner who was once upon a time a 90. Last time out, they reported an awkward stride and wide. But if you go to the earlier form, was running in the 86 and the higher divisions, gets the 4 kgs off. And even a horse like number 8, Sandbank, after winning last time out and finding good money, it just throws that race a little bit wide open.
Yeah, definitely. Sandbank, I think, is a better horse on the grass than the poly. But decent draw. Jockers riding unbelievably well has got to go in. Silver Tycoon, he's got to find a bit of form before he can get into the play.
Right, let's move on to race number 5 as we move into the second half of the program here. And you've gone with numbers 5, 6 and 7. Now, kicking off with number 5, Euphoric. He's an absolute poly specialist. All 9 of his victories have come on the poly. And he's the type of horse, when he decides to turn on those jets, he can really quicken past them.
Oh, 100%, Sheldon. 16-1, very good value. And a horse that ran a very good race in a 1,200-meter sprint. They've now got him over his trip. Here's one for the punters that they can't leave to run free. He's a solid each-way bet in a race that's very, very open. A horse like Pier Knight will be very, very happy to be back on the poly track. And he's also a massive runner. Unfortunately, got a very bad draw to overcome. Then in Focus is holding form, so too Magical Midlands. And there is talk on the ground for number 12, Nothing Else Matters. A new horse from the Smith Yard. And there's quite a bit of talk, strong talk on the ground for the 12 horse here. I've gone 7, 6, 5 and 12.
Well, there we go. Number 12, Nothing Else Matters. The talk on the ground is include this runner. And then just a comment on number 2, Central City. Obviously, Richard Fourie, whenever he jumps aboard a horse and he keeps the ride for the Greef stable, whichever stable he rides for, he'll have his supporters?
Yeah, he will, but he needs to turn his form around. You know, Alan didn't have anything else. It's only one horse that he had in the race. That's why Richard is riding it. It's drawn out at 11. He hasn't really scared the scorer, so he needs to turn his form around. I think Alan's been a little bit disappointed in this horse. I believe he's quite a good track horse and doesn't bring it to races. You do get those horses, unfortunately, but hopefully that Fourie factor can turn him around tomorrow.
Then we move on to race number 6. I'm talking about the Fourie factor with Alan Greef. He has a horse number 2, Esther, who's currently trading at 16-10. A 4-time winner from 15 heats to date. But more importantly, you look at the poly runs. 7 runs for 3 wins. And course and distance, a 50% win strike rate. So number 2, Esther, judged on the form, that 16-10 could be the wrong price?
Definitely the wrong price. If the handicapper's got it right, it's the wrong price, because her last run in the ladies bracelet over 1,200 meters, she got 20 points for running second. She's still running this race off her old rating, so she's actually 10 kilos better off to anything else in the field of her rating. Should be an absolute penalty kick. She's super good on the poly. Richard Fourie up, decent draw. She's got all the speed in the world. She'll probably be out in front. The Dangerous Vegas Gold, another horse that's very good on the poly. And then lower down, Pompeii Warning and Seattle Ripper. But all in here, my best bet on the card, Esther.
There we go, Grant Paddock with a lot of confidence, and he's given you the go-ahead. Last run out in that race behind 3 Rocks, raced off an 84, and like he mentioned, could have been 20 points up, but runs off an 84. So number 2, Esther. If you're going to go with the handicap, then certainly that 16 to 10 looks to be the value. Number 1, Light That Loose, is a horse I'd throw in for the exactas and the trifectas. We'll next move on to race number 7 as we come down to the final 2 hurdles. So if you're looking to play the last double on the card, races 7 and 8. As we update the betting with number 6, Summer Odyssey as your 2-to-1 favourite. And guess what? Once again, Richard Ferree for Alan Greef. You'll be looking for a red letter day. Number 2, Adita has found some early support, 9-2 down 7-2, and then it's 4-1 and upwards the best. Looking at number 7 with Samanga Kamala aboard for the Kelly Mitchley stable. Grant, I just see there's been a small amount of support currently from 9-2 down 4-1. If you look at the form, a horse who's been racing up handy, so maybe the drop to the 1300 could be key.
Sheldon, 100%. First choice in the race for me, without a doubt. She ran an unbelievably good race after doing crazy fractions in a mile against Luna Halo to only get beaten 2 lengths, drop back 1300, changing surface to polytrack. She's a very quick filly. She's a very strong filly, in fact. Massive runner. If she races a similar race as she did last time, I think she'll take a power of beating from a 2 draw with Kumalo up. Obviously, the Danger Summer Odyssey, very good run last time out. She's also got 10 points for that, but she's running off her old rating, so she's got to be a big runner as well. And then the likes of ID2 is definitely a better filly on the surface, but she's lumping 60.5 kilos. I really do think Passchendaele will win, and Summer Odyssey will chase home. So 7, 6, 2 and 4 for me.
Race number 8, Jorf at 1640 will bring down the curtain at the race meeting on the polytrack at Fairview, 1300 meters the distance, where number 11, You Win Again, is your 18-10 favorite. Ikembula Besefasane is currently trading at 9-2, ahead of number 9, Global Goddess, who's at 5-1. After that, we're looking at 8-1 and better the rest. Navigate us through race number 8, Grant. Are there any shrewdies you've found on the card in the 8th race, or any whispers on the ground?
Whisper for Global Goddess. I must be honest with you. We better talk for Global Goddess. Good draw, good jock, stable in form. I think this horse, You Win Again, is the right horse in the race. It's having a 3rd run in PE, first run on the polytrack. Half decent draw, the Foree factor once again. And I think Alan is quite confident with this filly to run a massive race. So yeah, You Win Again, definitely a very, very big runner. Global Goddess, talk for that. And then at the top, Ikembula Besefasane, and Dreamscape has also got to be a bit of a runner. Angel C, back end of Cortez, she tends to be a little bit better over the 1,000. 1300 from a 13 draw is not going to be easy for her. But yeah, I think the Creef for Reef combination will close this up, and I've gone 11, 9, 2 and 1, Sheldon.
Well, looking at the card, you've mentioned the handicapping factors. So for a couple of those guys out there who follow the merit rating system on a big high, follow those horses that got those penalties, but they're racing off those lower marks, and maybe you can make some money on those horses, because you're certainly not going to get those prices and those ratings again. Now, Grant, your suggested bet for the day is the buy pot, and you've also got a best and a value bet, which we're going to bring up on screen. If you wouldn't mind, please going through for all your supporters.
Thank you very much, Sheldon. Best bet, race 6, number 2, Esther. Value bet, race 1, number 3, Williams Legacy. And the suggested bet, the buy pot, goes as follows. We're going to banker 3, by banker 8, by 2, 3, 4, by 1, 9 and 12, by 5, 6, 7, by banker 2 for 27 Rand.
Well, thanks very much, Grant. As always, we value your input. Take care, and we'll chat to you soon.
Thank you very much. Good luck to the punters tomorrow. Goodbye.
There we go. That's what it comes down to. The punters, the owners, the jockeys, the breeders, and all the connections. Best of luck to each and every one of you out there. And as we always say, we hope that you come out on top in the number 1 box.